In today's video, I'm going to talk about the sessions. I'll explain which sessions are relevant for us, when they take place, you can already see them displayed, and in which session I mainly trade. The key terms here are Asia, London, and New York, as you can easily tell. And just a quick reminder at the beginning, as you can already see here, these times are shown in New York time. Most of you will probably have Berlin as your time zone. I've set my time zone to New York. That's simply because of the strategy, and so it's less confusing for me to focus on these times. Do it however you like. If you can manage with your normal time zone, then just stick with it. Personally, I've set mine to New York, but of course that's up to each individual. Let's get started right away. First up is the Asia session. As you can see, it's from 6 o'clock p.m. to 2:30 a.m. New York time. The Asia session is currently relatively uninteresting for Nasdaq and IS because during the Asia session, in about 80% of cases, I'd say, liquidity is always being built up. The market starts chopping and there is really no decent opportunity to trade during the Asia session. Personally, I usually sleep during the Asia session. I can only recommend it to you as well, but as I said, it's up to everyone to decide what they do. You don't have to trade Nasdaq and DS either. After the Asia session comes the London session. London runs from 2:30 a.m. to 7 o'clock a.m. For me personally, the London session isn't all that important. I start watching from 2:30 a.m. So at 8:30 a.m. German time, I look at the market and see what's happening. But I have to say, in most cases, I don't really care what London does because I focus on the New York AM session. Since we've just mentioned it, New York AM runs from 7 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. and for me, it's the most exciting time in the market because New York AM is currently the most volatile of these four, or rather, 3 sessions, and that's why I focus on New York AM. Especially New York time at 9:30 a.m., which is 3:30 p.m. German time when New York officially opens. From 7 to 9:30 a.m. is basically pre-open. There can already be quite a bit of volatility entering the market during that time. At 3:30 p.m. or rather 9 a.m., you'll see a lot of liquidity coming into the market, and for me, that's the most exciting time in the market. New York PM from 11:30 to 4 p.m. is relevant to me if my draw on liquidity hasn't been reached during the New York AM session. Then I also like to look at New York PM, but as I said, New York AM is 80–90% of what I focus on. What I really value is simply the most exciting for me. But all of that is based on experience and also on what you've been through, what your daily routine is like, and so on. There are many factors. Maybe some of you would prefer to trade during the London session for time reasons or whatever. Just see what works for you. Find out what suits you best, what you handle best, and ideally specialize in one session. That's my heartfelt advice to you. You can already see these 3 arrows here. I want to give you a little teaser here, but we'll discuss this in more depth in future videos. Just so you've heard about it for the first time, during the Asia session, even though we never, or I never, trade in the Asia session, there are points that are relevant for the Asia session as a draw on liquidity or as a point of interest. For the Asia session, that would be the previous day's high and the previous day's low. In other words, the high and low from the previous day are important during the Asia session. You should mark them for yourselves in case you ever decide to trade the Asia session. The same applies to the London session. I look at the high and low of the Asia session, and if they haven't been taken out yet, also the previous day's high and previous day's low. For New York AM, it's the same London session and Asia session high and low. And if they haven't been taken out yet, also the previous day's high and low. And for New York PM, again the same, AM high and low, London high and low, Asia high and low, and previous day's high and low. What exactly this is all about and what I mean by important liquidity points and that the respective liquidity zones or these liquidity points are important for the respective session. We'll discuss that in detail another time, as I said. For now, I just wanted to give you a teaser so you know that these aren't just random times, but that they actually have significance. Feel free to take a screenshot of this little graphic here. I kept it intentionally simple. One more important note, it's all in New York time, so don't get confused. Everything else about sessions we'll cover in further videos. This was a short video, but I still hope you were able to take something away from it, and I'd say see you in the next video. See you then.